on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Clippers Latest, where we talk all things LA Clippers, quick, fast, and to the point. As you know, I'm your host with the most, Brandon Goggins, back here with another jam-packed episode for you guys today. But before we get into everything, we got to unpack how are we all doing today. I hope that everybody that's watching this is doing so amazingly terrific that nobody can do anything about it. You know how Kendrick made that song, "You Can't Kill My," "Don't Kill My Vibe"? I hope that's how you feeling, because I don't want nobody vibes feeling down, because there's so many reasons to be happy to be here today. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's stand up. You feel me? But nah, man, I hope that everybody's doing wonderful. I've clearly have a lot of energy right now, so hopefully that's a little bit contagious, and hopefully you take that with you throughout the rest of your day. But like I said, we got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot to uncover. Let's just get straight into it, man. I hope that everybody's doing well. Let's go ahead and get into everything we need to talk about. Starting with, first of all, happy NBA tip-off, everybody. The 2025-26 season is officially underway. And last night we got an instant classic to start it off. The Thunder versus Rockets in a double overtime thriller. First off, that was the first game on NBC since June 2002. Not to make y'all feel a little old, I know that there's some guys that have been, rocking with the Clips for decades now. But 2002 was the year that I was born. And I wasn't even born yet for another few months by the time NBC was off. So, I don't really know the significance of the nostalgia or the nostalgic aspect of NBC. But I know that it was cherished by many. I've heard my dad talk about it. I've heard a few other guys that were alive during that time talk about how much of a beautiful thing it was. So I'm glad that we are now, as the new generation, getting to experience that. As you guys know, Jamal Crawford is now part of the NBC commentary. He called this game alongside Mike Tirico and Reggie Miller. And look, guys, we've talked about this before. I think I'm hating on Jay Crawford just a little bit though. Just a little bit. I'm not even trying to. I don't even mean to. I'm not trying to hate. But Jamal Crawford just isn't that exciting of a person. And that's okay. He's a legend on the court. But when it comes to the mic, it's just a little bland. That's all. Reggie Miller is already the analytical one. You know what I'm saying? But he still got a little bit of flavor in him. Jamal's still trying to figure out that balance between smooth and substance. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect him to be awesome off the rip. This isn't, Jamal was never known for being that guy to just, come out here and just do all that talking. So I understand. I think that it's going to come with a little time. He's going to get some more reps this year with NBC, and a lot of eyes are going to be on him. And I think just like how I've grown more comfortable finding my voice with this channel and talking to y'all, he's going to find his voice as a commentator as the season goes on. I have full faith in that. Again, not trying to hate. I love Jay Crawford, man. Jay Crossover is one of the most influential players to never make an all-star team. He'll forever have that. For real. I just think that he just needs to bring the energy up a little more to keep fans engaged, man. But like I said, he's going to learn that. He's surrounded by a great crew, and I think that he'll be able to pick up as the season goes on. But let's talk about the game that he was covering, because, wow, what a doubleheader to open up the season. Let's start with talking about, this Thunder Rockets game, because, brother, that was an instant classic. And this is probably the game that I'm going to talk about more. If this game is any indicator of how this year is going to go, we're in for a good one. We're good. We're in for a good season. If just as a general basketball fan, this will be a good one. A double overtime in the first game of the season. I don't know. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he was struggling all game. And then decided to remind everybody just out of nowhere why he's the reigning MVP and champion in the fourth quarter, overtime, and double overtime. He had 11 points going into the fourth. End of the night with 34. Say what you want about Shea and his foul baiting. I personally don't necessarily enjoy it either. I'd be very heated if we were on the receiving end of that. But I'm just one of those people that tries to look at every perspective. If it was that easy to do, I feel like everybody would do it. Like, it may be unethical, but can we really be mad if one of our own players that is on our roster right now was very, very, very prominent in that field just a few short years ago? Well, not a few short years, it's almost been a decade, but guys, let's be honest. That whole 2015 to 2020 stretch of James Harden, where Stephen A, he's averaging 40. He was getting his buckets. But you got to admit, he was getting to the line quite a bit. But he just knew how to draw those fouls. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a player like that has to be smart enough to know, like, when to anticipate what a defender is going to do before they do it. James Harden mastered that. They had to nerf him. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is mastering that right now. So when we see him, I need Derrick Jones Jr., I need Chris Dunn to lock in, play disciplined defense, because Shai knows what he's doing. And we can't fall for any of that. I be damned. We can't. I'm sorry, we can't. We're not letting that happen. He can go and average 30 again this year. With us, he's going to be averaging 10. And we need to make sure of that. But back to this game. Chet Holmgren, he had 28. But foul trouble got him. He fouled out in overtime. And, you know, it was a physical game. There were a few guys that fouled out. KD fouled out. There were a lot of guys with 5 fouls. It was a very, very intense game. So, got to be ready to endure that as well. Sengun had 39 points. Let's be real, guys. Ain't nobody worried about that weak ass dude. Zubats in 5. Give me Big Zoo in 5, man. Ain't nobody worried about Sengun. Man, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? OKC did end up taking it home in double overtime, and by the time the Warriors-Lakers game came on, we were already midway through the second quarter. I was like, dang, like, you know, I'm trying to see both of these games. You get what I'm saying? Like, get a feel for like what we might be seeing, because not to talk down on the East, but you peep how every game today was Western Conference. We are the superior conference. But regardless, like, it was still good hoops. Both OKC and Houston are going to be top or A-tier teams this season, and A-tier opponents for us, right up there with us in the West. So it was good to watch and get a little scouting preview of what we're going to be up against. Same for the Warriors and Lakers. Maybe I'm not worried about those teams as much, but like, you can never be too sure with either of those teams, as long as the Warriors still have Stephen Curry and as long as the Lakers have Luka Doncic and LeBron. I know that LeBron didn't play, but Luka had 43 tonight. That's something that we can't allow to happen. The Warriors ended up getting the dub, but both of those teams, like, you can just never count those teams out. You know, if they match up against anybody, it's a series. So we need to make sure that it's not us. We need to make sure that we come out with some statement wins as we play against our fellow West Coast rivals. But like I said, amazing doubleheader tonight. This NBA season is going to be something special, but it's going to be even more special once the Clippers get their first game out of the way. But first, before we get into that overview, I want to talk a little Clippers history. Our record for opening night as a franchise is 28-27, and that's very fitting for us. Right over 500. It's as Clippers as it gets. But our road opener since that record, or for that record, is 12-14, and I figured that I would take note of that since we are starting on the road this season. At home, for home openers, we're 16-13. So keeping that in mind, some of our most common season opening opponents over the years have been the Supersonics, Spurs, Trailblazers, Suns, and of course tonight's opponent, the Jazz. Since the turn of the century, 2000 season, we've faced the Lakers 5 times to start the season. Most of any team in that span. Our largest margin of victory since then was a 30-point win over the Sonics in 2004. And our worst loss to the Lakers by 38 in 2008. Yeah. Shout out Kobe Bryant. The highest scorer in an opener since then is probably not who you would have expected it to be. But it was Sam Cassell with 35 points against Seattle in 2005. And hey, shout out Sam Cassell, man. You know, shout out that boy. Clippers legend, by the way. In the last decade, we've won 6 of our last 9 openers. So that's a pretty good, percentage for us, pretty favorable for us, if I'd say. But unfortunately, one of those losses was last year's home opener, which was that heartbreaker against the Suns in overtime in the debut of the Intuit Dome. That was, we're not going to talk about that because that's not going to happen again this year. And if I have to make sure of it, they're going to have to deal with me. You know what I mean? But for now, we're starting on the road against Utah, so we're not even talking about home openers quite yet. But I am ready for this one. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's game day. Let's get it, baby. Let's go. The day is here, man. Let's go. I hope that everybody is excited, as pumped as I am. The journey starts now. Y'all, are you hearing me? The journey starts today. Today. Everybody's expected to be available tonight, according to our beat reporter, Joey Lynn. If I had to guess, we'll probably finally get to see the starting 5 we've been waiting on of Harden, Beal, Kawhi, Jones Jr., and Big Zoo holding down the paint. I've been waiting for this debut, and it's against the Jazz. Y'all, let's go ahead and put belt to ass. Let's go ahead. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's go ahead. We might as well, right? We might as well, right? Go ahead. Hey, this for them Jazz, boy. You know what I mean? Look. We might as well. Hold on. Let me put this in the mic so y'all can. Hey, man. Cooperate with me, belt. Damn it. Oh, yeah. We on that. Dang, it's been folded up, so we're going to. Come on, boy. It's belt to ass season. What you talking about? What you talking about? Utah Jazz? What are you Fries in the bag, bro. Fries in the bag. Look. I mean, both rotations putting that belt to him. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that second 5, CP3, Dunn, Bogey, Collins, Lopez. If it's Batum, I want to see them get some run too, just to make a statement early. Even maybe we can let the young guys get some minutes in if we cooking like that. Now, I don't want to seem like I'm too overconfident, because you can't underestimate anybody in this league. It's a league full of parity. You can't underestimate anybody, but theoretically, we should beat the Jazz pretty convincingly. We swept them in our season series last season. 4 games, all pretty commanding wins, except for that last one that went to overtime. We still won by 4. They do have something new this year, though. Something that they didn't have last season, and that is number 5 overall pick, Ace Bailey out of Rutgers. If you know anything about Ace, you know that dude can hoop. You know he can hoop. So I wouldn't be shocked if he has a decent debut against us. I hope that he plays well. I just hope that they don't win. I want to see the young guys win. I'm always, rooting for them. But do well so then it can be presented as, a great season debut and a loss to the Clippers. I like that headline. I think that fits. So shout out Ace. Hope you do your best, but just not enough to get the win over us. Shout out to you. Arias Bailey. But they are still a young team compared to our very seasoned roster. So Wisdom should take the win in this one. I think that their starting 5 is probably going to consist of Keontae George, Ace Bailey at the 2, Lauri Markkanen, Kyle Flipowski, and Walker Kessler. And if you didn't peep, that's 3 7-footers in one lineup, which is low-key kind of OD. Like, that's kind of crazy. Ace Bailey is 6'7". So that's a pretty tall-ass lineup. So we're gonna have to match size. But that could mean that we debut the double big lineup in the few. You know what I'm saying? The first game we get to see the double big, maybe. We could also combat this with speed. We could see a smaller lineup if they're able to hold their own, but I don't really know how Ty Lue's going to play that. But, I would expect to see the double big lineup out, at least for a possession or two to try and counter the size. Isaiah Collier is the only player expected to be out for them. So I think that they'll probably be at full strength as well. But either way, we got to treat this game like we playing the 96 Bulls. We are not letting our guard down. And that's because the journey to the Larry O'Brien trophy, it starts tonight, gentlemen. Clippers Nation, let's ride. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. I'm expecting nothing short of greatness. I want to see a whole bunch of wet ball. I want to see Harden have 10 assists. CP3 have 10. Shoot. Zubats, 15 boards. Chris Dunn, 3 steals. Lopez, 3 blocks. Bogey, 3 threes. And Bradley Beal, I want you to make a statement. I want you to show Phoenix what they missed out on last year and what they could have gotten. And with that being said, that's going to do it for this episode. You guys, let me know your thoughts. What are you expecting heading into this season opener tomorrow or tonight? I hope that everybody's expectations are as high as mine. I hope that everybody's as pumped as I am because Clippers basketball starts tonight, man. I'm super excited. We're gonna see how it all plays out, man. This will be very indicative of how we, approach the season from here on out. So let's get it going, y'all. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. And if you are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we're gonna be going all season long, and it's gonna be a heck of a ride, gang. But with that being said, I'm gonna head on out of here. Y'all be easy. Y'all stay sleazy. And y'all keep it capital peasy. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one after we get this dub. Y'all take it easy. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.